Hello and welcome to Earth Ray Healing. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Sacral Chakra, the Pleasure Center. We're going to talk about what it's linked to. We're going to talk about balanced versus imbalanced, how it gets imbalanced, things like this. And then we'll get into an activation for the sacral, a cleansing and a charging that is an activation. And then we'll talk a little more about it. So we'll talk about what tools to connect with to heal this energy center. Now there are timestamps below if you want to jump to the activation, although the entire video is coded to be the activation, but it's completely fine to skip around if that's what you want to do. So first of all, the location. Where is the sacral? Depending on how long your torso is, it's usually about 2 to 3 inches below the navel. And in the back, it is your lower back. The purpose of this energy center is movement and flow and change. And allowing these things, allowing movement and flow and change. The function of the sacral is emotional process and emotional expression. So what is the sacral linked to? It is linked to the color orange. I have my orange pendant on today. It's linked to the color orange. Spiritually, it's linked to the element of water and femininity. Physically, the sacral is linked to the sex organs, the kidneys, the bladder, the urinary tract, hormones, the lower back, the lower intestines, the things in this area down here. Now, what does the sacral govern? It governs pleasure. First and foremost, pleasure. It is the pleasure center. Again, movement, flow, creativity, sexuality, sensuality, physical touch, desire, joy, emotions. And it also governs most of the body's fluids. And then along with the heart center, it takes part in governing relationships. So when you work on your sacral center and you improve your sacral center, most likely you will improve your relationships. So let's talk about balanced versus imbalanced. A person with a balanced sacral center, this is when energy is flowing. So not just in that energy center, but that energy center governs flow. So we're talking about flow throughout the body, the entire body. They have good energy flow. These people are creative, and not only are they creative, they're comfortable being creative. They're comfortable sharing their creativity. They are connected. They are connected to people or projects, whatever they're doing. If they're talking to someone or working on something, they are connected to it. They're plugged in, not distracted. They have passion, again, for people, projects, places, situations, a general passion for life. They have a healthy sex drive. They're comfortable with their sexuality or their non-sexuality. Not everyone is sexual, so it doesn't mean that there's something wrong in their sacral center. I think that's important to mention. So they're comfortable with themselves. They move easily. Body movement is effortless. They may be a good dancer, or they may do yoga. In general, they don't have a lot of body aches or pains because, again, they have good energy flow. They have good energy movement. Emotionally, they are emotionally healthy. They are emotionally aware. So they have healthy emotional expression. So basically they don't hold it in, but yet they're not overly emotional all the time. A person with an underactive sacral center. This is when there's little to no energy movement. They don't like to go with the flow. It's difficult for them to go with the flow. It's difficult for them to flow through the day or flow through life in general. They're not comfortable with change. They're not comfortable with impromptu things, sudden movements, sudden changes. So like if you were to say, hey, we're going to go to this place, get ready and come with us, like on the spot, this is someone that probably wouldn't be comfortable with that. They are guarded. They have rigid boundaries, low libido, no passion for anything, no passion for life or little passion for life. They're not inspired by anything or anyone. These are people that could isolate themselves and be lonely. They neglect themselves. So along with the heart center, this is poor self-love. Now, a person with an overactive sacral. So if you think of the underactive as being no flow, the overactive is overflow of energy. So they have poor to no boundaries, similar to an imbalance in the solar plexus. They could have erratic or unstable behavior, possible addict behavior with sex or drugs. Emotions may be overwhelming, moody, impulsive. Basically, they can't control their emotions, or they have trouble controlling their emotions. So an imbalanced sacral can show up as mimicking other areas. The throat and root. So creativity and expression of the throat could mimic sacral issues. Or physically, it could show up as in the root area. Now, why does it get imbalanced? Just like any energy center imbalance, there are many reasons why this can happen. We'll just mention a few here. Sexual issues, sexual abuse, confusion or guilt or shame with sexual identity. If you're made to feel guilty or shameful in any way, but especially about anything sexual, guilt and shame, they get stuck in that area. So unfulfilling relationships, unfulfilling partners. If you were not allowed to be creative, you weren't encouraged to be creative, that could block this center. If you don't express or process your emotions, you suppress energy, you don't let things flow, that can block this sacral center. So how does an imbalanced sacral chakra manifest? Well, physically, it can show up as reproductive organ issues, sexual issues, pelvic pain, menstrual issues, menstrual pain, endometriosis, hormonal issues, lower back pain, urinary tract infections, negativity in sexual interests, so basically inappropriate behaviors, issues with adrenal glands, kidneys, the bladder, issues with the lower parts of the intestines. Emotionally, it can manifest as shame, guilt. If emotions are not processed, they become imbalanced or stuck, and this is what causes the underactive or blocked sacral. So shame, guilt, fear, anger, it gets stuck there. Mostly shame and guilt. Now that we've talked a little bit about the sacral center, we'll get into the activation here. And after the activation, we'll discuss some tools to help you connect with this energy center and to heal this energy center. Okay, take a deep breath. We're starting with heart codes. Atra ak udrush makanya kato uj mataka antraka niya kato udru ukundraya kati kitiya kato ukudrum baganda. Hyanda ko otroha atia sha okotru uku. Haya kata othra ash atia kata uj anakata okuru bakanya kata utra bakanyata. Otra kati kati shakoto ukutra kati kati ukutra bakata ikato ukutru panganya kati ish utuku utrum. And bringing in the sacral codes. Haya kata ukutruj andakianta ka ukutniata ka ush akata niakata uktur bakanyata ka ush niakata ish utur bakanya horem bakianta ka ndrash inkatiaya kata ukutrum bakata kiata ka utur bakanyata ush ukutrum bakanyata ka ush akata hotraya katij akatu ush andakati kita ush makana hyang kata ukutruj yang kata in ush makana andra ieto ush makata andra ukutrush Ati kata uj tara agi uj ikianta kantraya katij anya kata utra pakanyata ush pakana hara pakianda ka utro ush pakanya kata hare pakanya kata utu ush makana anya kata antra kata ush ankianta ka utu hashan katiang kata ukutra pakanyata ka ush pakana anya kata u. They're saying to place your hands over that area for this next part. Hadraya kata uj makada ndikira utru pakanya ta ke isu tu utru pakanya urabagyan kata uj magane atikit uj pakanya ktia kata utru pakana. Take a deep breath. Harepia ta ko uj nkian kata utru pakanya ta uj bakati ktia ta ko utru pakanya Hurepakaya kata uj akati ktia ta utru pakanya kata uj kata atia kata utru pakanya kata iks utu. Kedia kata uks hataya kata ukutu. Kedia kata atau us kedia kata ukutru pukian kata it ut us kata andra kata uktra kedia kata ukutru pakandati kata uktra. Take a deep breath. Haya kata kata ukutu is ataka andikia kata utru pukon mataya kati. Haya kata ukutru umpukonia kata iata utru uta taya ukutu kata kati kata ukutru pukat kata ukutru pakanya. Urpaknya kata antro paka nier nanang nier kata uktria kata uksan kiang kata uktru kata ya kata uks amata kata ya kata ikutu kutru pakanya kata ukutru hatru pukya andra ya kata ukutru usha pakandra kia kata ukutru pukandra kata ukutru pukana Trup kata ya kata uktur paka is kata ndrukunda kata uktur kwana kata utrup kya kata utrup kwana kata iya kata utrup nia atraka ya kata uktur makanya kata ukrup ketia kata atraka tia kata uksup kata ya kata utrup kwa nia kata uktra Hadra katia kato ukutrusha bakanyata utupokotaya katia robukutrupukwata harapakia hush utrapakanyata utrupukanyakata antrapukuya katikianta utrupakanyat kianta ko utrikish atikianta ko utrupiyata ko utrupuk ish atakata utru. Take a deep breath. We're going to ground those codes, that activation. Now, if you need to let that settle a little bit, go ahead and pause the video. We're going to move on to talk about things that may happen from this activation, along with your working on your own sacral center. You may experience pleasure, whatever pleasure is for you. You may experience flow, so energy flow, kundalini, physical flow in your body. Going with the flow may be easier for you. Your fluids may flow better. So your blood, your urine, your fluids. You may have a runny nose or watery eyes. You may want to move your body. You may want to explore your body. You may want to explore your sexuality. You may have a creative aha moment. You may get really excited about something, anything. And then the excitement turns to passion. So sudden passion. You may feel vibrant or colorful. You may want to share something. And since we're working in the sacral area, you may experience emotional ups and downs until it balances. So tools that you can connect with to help you heal this energy center. Activities to connect with. Sex. Explore your sexuality. Move your body. Flowy movements. Move your body in a flowy manner, even if it's just your arm. Like just start doing this and see what happens. There are certain yoga poses specifically for each chakra. Look up the ones for the sacral. Swimming, remember, flow. Create something, anything, get creative. Play games. Basically, do anything pleasurable that harms none. So figure out what is pleasurable for you. What does pleasure mean to you? What is pleasing for you? What is enjoyable for you? It may look different than anything I just mentioned. Crystals to connect with. Orange crystals, orange calcite, carnelian, mookaite jasper. And mookaite jasper has sometimes orange, red, and yellow in it. So the more orange you can find, the better. Moonstone, aquamarine, snowflake obsidian, golden tiger's eye, sunstone, amber. Plants and herbs to connect with. Cinnamon, vanilla, cypress, calendula, rosemary, hibiscus, rose petals, sandalwood, and jasmine. Foods to connect with. Again, orange, think orange. So oranges, mangoes, pumpkin, apricot, cantaloupe, carrots, sweet potatoes. The colors to connect with, of course, oranges. So bright orange or orange red. Creatures to connect with. The fish, the fish as a creature, not as a food for the sacral. So fish and most sea creatures. And the goldfish and the clownfish are orange, so they're great to connect with. The crocodile, orioles, the birds, orioles, any tropical orange bird, because if you look them up, tropical birds, like their colors are so vibrant. So find an orange tropical bird, even if you just look it up online, connect with it. The otter, cat, mermaid, any playful creature. So if you see squirrels playing, connect with that. That is the sacral center. Okay, we're going to bring all of this information and all of these codes in for a closing light language for the sacral center. Hatra ikianta ko utruja makaniakata ukutru pakianta ka intraka ukutru. Hianta ka atreka unkianta ka intrakiata ko utru pakanakia. Hayakata ukutra akianta ko utru. Utru iata ko utru. Rapatia kata ukutruj pakati kianta ko utru. Nyakata ukutruja bakanyata ka utrupuka nyakata utru kasha nyakata utrupaka nyakata utrupuka nyakata andruj bakanyata utrush hatraya kata utrush bakanyata utruka nyakata utrush bakanyata nyakata ush. It is safe to let go of shame and guilt. I'm creating space right now for you to let go of any shame or any guilt. Hadra dia kata ukuzman kati kata antru ukuzman atra kianta ko utrup nia kata ij. Harpakan nia kata utru rang nia kata utrup nia kata us nia kata ukra kata ukutru. Shant kata utruku ata achata kata andru ya kata ukutru pataya kata ku ukutru pakan nia kata us. Nia kata us ata atra kianta ko uto. Orpaya ya kata ukushu kianta ko utrupuku ayash. Huatraya kati horapakaya kati kshu ukurapakani kata us kania kata hor atia kata us. We're ending with heart codes here. Hata ato utrapa angiata ko us baka intrakia otro baka intrak un. Hata otr aish ukutru miakata us ukutru ata ukutru aniakata ukutru us ayakatish to troapakon chiata kianta ko utru miaya onra is ot u. Take a deep breath. We're going to ground all of these codes. We're going to ground this activation. If you would like a personal session, that link will be below. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.